All right, so let's go ahead and get started. A lot of stuff I'd like to get through today, so I'm going to try to keep the pace pretty quick. So the first thing we're going to do, second half of chapter 4, after we talked about calculating percentiles, quartiles, quintiles, deciles, right? All of those different ways that we can slice the particular range of the data or the dispersion of the data and look at it in different ways. Now we're going to be looking at the shape of the data. And we have 4 shapes of the data that we're going to consistently be seeing here. On all of these axes, we have the frequency on the y-axis. And they're going to have different x-axes. So we're going to label those as we go. But all of them have frequency on the y-axis. So the first one is the most typical one, our symmetric curve. Our symmetric curve. So this is the one that's going to look like a bell. We're often going to call this a normal curve. So this is a symmetric distribution, and this particular one that we're looking at here is for ages. And we see a symmetric distribution where both the mean and the median are right on top of each other at 45 years of age. So those are our symmetric distributions, okay? Now, if we were to take a look at our positively skewed distributions, we would have something that looks like this. So positively skewed or skewed to the right is something that looks like this. Actually, let's do a little bit better of a job. There we go. So this is going to be a positive skew or a skew to the right. And this particular one we're talking about is monthly salaries. So monthly salaries where we have a median value of 3,000 and an average value that is higher than my median at around 4,000. And these are all in dollars, right? This is our average monthly salary. Where is the mode of this data? Is it below 3,000, between 3 and 4,000, or above 4,000?
Should be left. It's right at the peak, so it's left of median.
Exactly. So the mode is always going to be the peak area, right? So this is going to tell me the highest part of the curve is going to tell me where my mode is. So my mode is going to be somewhere less than 2,000, probably 2,500 or something like that, right? Okay, very good. What if we have a negative skew or a skew to the left? A negative skew or a skew to the left, these is what your test scores end up looking like, where you have a median of around 80 and an average of 75 and a majority of students doing better, getting a B or an A, right? The mode being somewhere around here, towards that peak. The last distribution that we have, we aren't going to see a lot, but still important for us to know what the heck it is. This is a situation where there are 2 groups. There are 2 main averages. So we call this bimodal. Where we have 2 particular groups, one of which is showing a frequency down, showing an average or frequency down here, another which is showing an average or mode frequency up here. So when we're looking, oh, I gotta complete my labeling here. So this is a negative skew. This is going to be test scores. And this last one, we call this a bimodal. And the example that we're given in the book is looking at the outside diameter measurements. And this is in inches. And strangely enough, the mean of this particular distribution doesn't actually tell us very much at all, right? It gives us the value in between those two, central locations, right? So when we look at the mean of a bimodal distribution, it's not going to give us that same amount of information, the same richness of information as when we are given a mean or a median in a positive, negative, or a symmetrical skew. So 2 or more peaks is the main thing with bimodal. And it may indicate that we have 2 or more populations combined. So here, if we're looking at bicycle tires or something, right, probably means that we have both road tires and, cross-check tires or whatever, right? Or both road bike tires and both mountain bike tires in here. And we're looking at the outside diameter. So so that's our shape. So again, this positively skewed, we can think of this as a skewed to the right. And the negatively skewed, we can think of this as skewed to the left.